Today, we're going to walk through the process of transferring ownership of a real estate property. This is a clear, step-by-step guide that takes you from the initial title to the deed that gets officially recorded. Our goal is to make this process simple, legal, and fully documented, so you have peace of mind knowing that the ownership change is official and recognized. Let's dive into how to make your real estate transfer smooth and straightforward. Here we have a clear roadmap outlining the transfer process in 7 key steps. It all starts with confirming ownership and title to make sure everything is legitimate and clear from the start. Next, you will prepare the necessary legal documents, which are critical for laying down the terms of the transfer. From there, running a title search is essential to uncover any potential issues or claims against the property. Then, inspecting and appraising the property helps determine its true condition and value. Securing financing is the 5th step, ensuring that the funds are in place to complete the transaction. Hiring legal and professional support comes next to guide you through the complex parts and provide expert advice. Finally, executing and recording the deed is the last step, officially transferring ownership and making it clear, legal, and recorded for the public record. Each step builds on the last, creating a smooth and secure process from start to finish. To begin, the first crucial step is determining property ownership and title. Start by checking the current deed. This document shows exactly who is named as the owner and how the title is held. It's your primary source for confirming legal ownership. Next, identify any co-owners. This can include a spouse, heirs, business partners, or even a trust. Their approval may be necessary for the transfer to move forward. Finally, look carefully for any title issues. Things like liens, unpaid taxes, or ownership disputes can cause significant delays or even prevent the transfer from happening. The key takeaway here is to start by confirming exactly who legally owns the property and whether anyone else has a recorded ownership interest. This foundational step ensures you have a clear understanding before moving forward. Now that we understand the initial steps, let's focus on preparing the legal documentation. This is a critical phase where you gather all necessary paperwork before any signatures are made. Having everything organized up front helps prevent delays and ensures a smooth transaction. Key documents include the deed, which transfers property ownership, the purchase agreement outlining the terms, and the affidavit of title that guarantees clear ownership. You'll also need to include any required disclosures, transfer tax forms, and proper identification, along with notary details. It's essential that all these documents are complete, accurate, and fully signed to make the transfer official and legally binding. Taking the time to prepare this checklist thoroughly will keep the process on track and avoid potential legal issues down the line. Here we focus on the deed, which is the key legal document that actually transfers ownership of a property. It officially names both the grantor, the person selling or transferring the property, and the grantee, the person receiving it. The deed includes a detailed description of the property itself and must be properly signed, notarized, and recorded with the county to be valid. There are different types of deeds, such as warranty deeds, which provide guarantees about the property's title, and quitclaim deeds, which transfer whatever ownership interest the grantor has without warranties. Importantly, the deed serves as the official proof of transfer, and without a valid deed, the ownership legally does not change. Recording the deed with the county also protects the new owner's rights and makes the transfer public record. In Step 3, Title Search and Clearance, we focus on thoroughly checking the property record before the transfer moves forward. The main goal here is to confirm clean ownership before closing, ensuring there are no unexpected issues. First, we start with the search phase. This involves pulling public records, prior deeds, tax filings, and any liens tied to property. We trace the entire ownership history to get a full picture. Next comes the review phase, where we carefully examine these records for errors, unpaid taxes, easements, or any claims that might delay the transfer. The key is to spot anything that could affect the title. Finally, in the resolve phase, we address any problems found. This can mean releasing, correcting, or documenting every issue so that the title is clear and can be marketable and recordable when the new owner takes possession. This proactive approach keeps surprises away and ensures a smooth closing process. At this stage, it's crucial to conduct a thorough property inspection and appraisal. The inspection helps us confirm the home's condition, uncovering any structural or safety issues that need to be addressed early on. Documenting these concerns promptly is important for transparency and planning. Meanwhile, the appraisal establishes a fair market value of the property, which is essential for both lenders and buyers to support pricing and financing decisions. Together, these findings provide a clear picture of the home's condition and value. They also give us leverage to negotiate, whether that means requesting repairs, obtaining credits, or adjusting the sale price before closing. Remember, both the condition and the value of the property matter significantly before moving forward with a transfer. Knowing exactly what the home is worth helps ensure a smooth, informed transaction. At this stage, it's crucial to focus on securing your financing and getting pre-approved. Loan pre-qualification gives you an idea of how much you might be able to borrow before you even officially apply. This helps set realistic expectations. Next, setting aside your down payment funds early is essential. It ensures your offer is strong and ready to move quickly when the time comes. Interest rates play a significant role too. Even small differences can greatly affect the total cost of your financing, so it's important to understand what rates you qualify for. Don't forget about closing costs, which include lender fees, title charges, taxes, and recording expenses. Budgeting for these upfront means you won't face surprises later on. Ultimately, knowing your budget before signing any agreements keeps the process smooth and prevents delays. This clarity now paves the way for a confident, successful closing later. Now, let's talk about step 6, hiring legal and professional support. Building the right support team is crucial because these experts ensure that the transfer process is accurate, lawful, and as stress-free as possible. First, you have the real estate attorney. Their role is to draft or review the deed and transfer terms, explain any legal risks, taxes, or ownership issues that might arise, and confirm that all signatures and notarizations are properly handled to stay compliant with the law. Next, the title company plays a key role by running a thorough title search to identify any liens or claims against the property. They also issue title insurance when necessary and coordinate all closing documents and the official recording of the transfer. Then, the real estate agent steps in to guide the negotiations between buyer and seller, ensuring deadlines, disclosures, and next steps are managed smoothly. They also help coordinate inspections, offers, and all the detailed logistics involved in closing the deal. Each of these roles tackles a different aspect of the transfer, but together, they make sure the entire process goes off without a hitch. Having these professionals on your side helps protect your interests and keeps the transaction moving forward efficiently. Now, let's focus on the crucial step of executing and recording the deed. This is what really makes the ownership transfer official. First, all required parties must sign the deed in each other's presence. Then, the signatures need to be notarized to verify their authenticity. It's also important to pay any transfer taxes or fees associated with the transaction at this stage. After that, the deed must be filed with the county recorder's office. This filing is what legally changes the ownership. Once it's recorded, make sure to keep a copy of the recorded deed as your proof of ownership. Remember, until this process is complete, signed, notarized, and recorded, the change in ownership isn't legally recognized. This final step is what truly makes the transaction official. It's essential to have all your critical documents ready when transferring property, because missing even one can slow the entire process down. First, the signed deed is the core legal document that officially transfers ownership from one party to another. Next, government IDs are necessary to verify everyone's identity involved in the transfer. The title report plays a key role by showing any liens or the ownership history tied to property, ensuring there are no surprises. If there's an existing mortgage, the mortgage payoff statement will be required to confirm how much is owed. Tax records are also important as they confirm that all property taxes are up to date. Finally, transfer forms, including county filings and disclosures, must be completed to comply with local regulations and finalize the transaction. Keeping all these documents organized and ready will help ensure a smooth and timely transfer process. When transferring property, most delays can actually be traced back to a few common, preventable mistakes. The first one is using the wrong deed. It's crucial to know that quitclaim and warranty deeds serve very different purposes. So you need to choose a deed type that correctly fits the specific transfer you're handling. The second pitfall is skipping a thorough title check. If you overlook unpaid liens, claims from co-owners, or title errors, these issues could suddenly appear and halt the entire transaction. Third, missing signatures or proper notarization can cause serious problems. A deed that's incomplete or not properly signed might be rejected when you try to record it, wasting time and possibly money. Finally, never forget about taxes and fees. Transfer taxes, recording costs, and legal fees can all add up and catch you off guard if they're not planned for right from start. Keeping these points in mind will help keep your transfer process smooth and fully compliant. When it comes to property transfers, the process usually wraps up within 30 to 45 days, and the associated costs tend to fall into predictable categories. So, it's important to plan not just for the timeline, but also for fees involved. Breaking down the typical transfer timeline, the first week is all about preparing the necessary documents like the deed, disclosures, and title details. Then, between days 8 and 18, there's a thorough search and review period where the title, any liens, inspections, and appraisals are closely examined. By days 19 to 32, financing usually clears, with underwriting and final conditions being finalized. Finally, between days 33 and 45, signing takes place, and the documents are officially recorded, including closing, taxes, and county filings. Looking at the major cost categories, transfer taxes can range from 0.5% to 2%, depending on your state, county, or city. Title search and insurance typically run between 0.5% and 1%, and these fees are often bundled into the closing charges. Recording fees, which cover the county filing for the deed, usually fall between $50 and $250. Attorney or escrow fees vary significantly, from $500 up to $2,000, depending on local practices. Inspection and appraisal fees generally range from $700 to $1,500, mostly required when financing is involved or if negotiated separately. Lastly, loan or lender fees can be between 1% and 3%, applying to buyers using financing. Keep in mind these are rough U.S. ranges, and local rules can influence both the timing and the total cost, so it's wise to account for some variability. Let's go over the key takeaways to keep in mind. First, breaking down this high-stakes process into clear, manageable steps really helps reduce stress and confusion. Always start by confirming exactly who owns the title before moving forward. That's the foundation of everything. Next, make sure you're using the correct deed and that every legal detail is properly completed to avoid issues later on. It's crucial to clear up any liens, complete inspections, and secure financing well before the signing day. When things get complex, don't hesitate to work with qualified professionals who can guide you through the nuances. Finally, remember that ownership is only official once the deed is signed, notarized, and recorded. Keeping these points in mind will help ensure a smooth and successful transfer. Are you ready to transfer ownership with confidence? The key to a smooth and secure handoff lies in having the right documents, working with experienced professionals, and following a clear timeline. Start by securing your title and deed, then proceed step by step through the necessary recording process. When you follow these steps carefully, your transfer will be legally sound, properly recorded, and complete. Remember, you've got this. Just keep the process clear and organized, and everything will fall into place.